This story comes to us from kplctv.com. Out of Jennings, Louisiana, a woman is still in disbelief after being detained by the Jennings police following a traffic stop last month. Why? She wasn't even in the car. The woman was filming from across the street. Jennings police told 7 News they were pulling over a stolen car from Monroe. One of the suspects reportedly yelled to a woman working in her yard across the street, asking for her to start recording. Yeah, there you go. Hey, start recording the cops. That's a reasonable request. Then I said, says the woman, the guy screamed out, record, record. I said, okay, I'll record, said Sabrina Bernard. Bernard said she had been there cleaning up her property on 5th Street after her home caught fire a few months ago. The video starts with one police vehicle parked behind the suspect's vehicle that was pulled over. More officers arrived quickly after. Now you see at least one suspect lying on the ground. As more officers walk up with their guns drawn, you can hear Bernard commenting on what's happening from across the street when the officer runs over with his gun in his hand, telling her to get on the ground. Why? Because she's recording.
Bernard was read her rights and detained, questioning the whole time why, saying she had no connection to the incident happening across the street.
They tackled me basically just because I was recording, but they told me that that had something to do with what was going on. Couldn't be, because I walked outside, he was already on the ground, so they tackled me and they put me in handcuffs.
Following the encounter, Bernard walked to her neighbors a few houses down.
They told me to stay out of trouble next time, and next time stay instead of recording.
So whenever you don't see a video on here, there's one of 2 reasons. One, I didn't find it. Or 2, it's from like ABC News Network or KTLA Tribune News. They always give me a copyright every single time, ABC and KTLA. Anyway, I digress. She says, you see in the video, I stayed on my property. I didn't go toward them. Bernard was read her rights and detained. She was questioned the whole time. Why? Saying she had no connection to the incident happening across the street. But they're, questioning her their whole time. Why are you over here? Why are you doing that? She says they tackled me basically because I was recording, but they told me I had something to do with what was going on. She said I couldn't be because I walked outside and he was already on the ground. So they tackled me and put me in handcuffs. That's how they treat people that record the police. Following the encounter, Bernard walked to her neighbor's house a few houses down. Neighbor Brandon Fontenot said she came up all messed up, like mud and water everywhere, saying what happened, saying the cops had cuffed her for no reason. Well, there was a reason. You were recording them. Yeah. I'm not saying it was right. Nope. File a lawsuit, buy a new house. Aaron Hicks, another neighbor, said, me and Brandon went down there to ask, why would y'all just go into somebody's yard and just throw them down like that? When the 2 walked up to the officer to ask them about what happened, the officer began to curse at the 2, telling them to get away.
Handcuffed him for no reason,
Me and Brandon went down there to ask him, why would y'all just go in somebody's yard and just throw them down like that?
When the 2 walked up to the officer, this is the response they got.
We got to go away. Man, we got away.
Jennings police say the officers involved initially believed Bernard was one of the 3 suspects involved in the stolen car. However, she was quickly released and not officially arrested.
They told me to stay out of trouble.
7 News reached out to Jennings police for more information on what happened and what led up to the arrest. They said, we are still waiting to hear back. Now, according to the ACLU in Louisiana, you can legally record an officer who is performing their duties in public. Police cannot take your equipment, demand to view the footage, or delete it without a warrant. You hear that, Sergeant Wilson of Yucaipa? You hear that, Deputy Arden? You can't delete the footage without a warrant. You hear that? You taking note? They say you can't interfere with her duties while you film. Obviously, she was across the street recording in her own yard. And the cops are like, there's one we can get. Yeah.